The final week of May is here, and like every other week this month and really into the final week of April, we're going to have the chance for thunderstorms at times along with continuing heat. Let's talk about it in this Monday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Good morning. It is Monday, the 27th of May, 2024. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Bully-in-Chief David Reimer. After a bad Saturday into Saturday night, we were blessed with mostly quiet weather yesterday for the most part. We had some hail, some wind, but we didn't have any more tornadoes. And really, any day we can get by without that this month, it seems to be a blessing. So I realize we are all very hypersensitive now to the threat of severe storms. And yes, we are going to have some more severe storm issues this week, but we're going to go through it. We're going to talk about it, and it's going to be okay. I want to be perfectly abundantly clear. There is nothing that screams we're going to have a repeat of Saturday any individual day this week in terms of the tornado outbreak we dealt with Saturday into Saturday night, even though the Saturday night outbreak was really just from one storm. It still produced multiple tornadoes over a discontinuous about 50 plus mile path in North Texas. And of course, we had tornadoes earlier in the afternoon. Unfortunately, we've lost several lives. Hundreds have been injured. And the damage, it's bad. They were not weak tornadoes. Let's just get into it. This is going to be the severe weather outlook for this afternoon into tonight. Storm Prediction Center currently highlighting a broad region of isolated severe thunderstorm potential from really the eastern Texas panhandle, northwest Texas, Texoma, the Big Country, North Texas, East Texas, Central Texas, the Hill Country, the Eastern Concho Valley, the Eastern Big Country, the Hill Country, the Edwards Plateau, Rio Grande Plains, South Texas, South Central Texas, up through the coastal plains, the Brazos Valley, Southeast Texas, the Golden Triangle, East Texas. Yeah, over half the state. The potential for isolated severe storms this afternoon into tonight. Now, let me explain why we have such a large risk area geographically, and start off by saying most folks are not going to deal with storms today. But we could have isolated pop-ups this afternoon. Those storms that do develop this afternoon in a very unstable environment, it's hot, it's very humid, it's oppressive. Well, that is kerosene, jet fuel, whatever the term you want to use for thunderstorms. If they go up, they're going to have hail and strong winds. The tornado threat is low, or very low, technically. Now, there is some concern. We're going to have a boundary over portions of North Texas, kind of down into Central Texas, the Brazos Valley. A low probability scenario would be that we have one or maybe a few supercells fire up late this afternoon into this evening near that boundary. If those storms latch onto that boundary and are still underway, dinner time through maybe 11 p.m., there may be a localized enhancement to the tornado risk. Now, I'm not saying this is a repeat of Saturday, but at the same time, this is one of those low probability yet potentially high impact events. If it were to happen, we're going to have to keep a very close eye on it. And if it becomes more evident that could be more likely, you'll see this risk levels bumped up later today, and we'll keep a close eye on that. But again, a couple storms, not guaranteed. I mean, isolated to maybe scattered storms with large hail damaging winds anywhere in this risk area, with a lower probability scenario, but one that would feature a tornado risk as well, maybe in parts of North Texas, Central Texas, the Brazos Valley, late this afternoon into this evening. We're going to keep an eye on it. But again, I don't want you to freak out or, think, uh-oh, we're doomed. We're not. This is one of these low probability scenarios that 9 out of 10 times doesn't happen. But of course, the 1 out of 10 time it happens, we have issues. So we'll keep an eye on it. Let me show you what the high-res rapid refresh model is showing today, tonight, into tomorrow morning. You can see isolated scattered storms pop up late this afternoon, into this evening, into tonight, across several regions of Texas. Even if we're quiet this afternoon, as we go into late tonight, we're going to see some lift occur with the increase in low-level winds across the atmosphere. The low-level jet, that'll probably be enough to fire up some storms in parts of central Texas, North Texas, Texoma, the Arklatex, up into Oklahoma. The strongest of those storms, capable of producing large hail, damaging winds, maybe a tornado. All right, so that's one of these chances. And again, this could be Texoma, North Texas, Northeast Texas, the Arklatex, all the way down into portions of central Texas, the Brazos Valley, south central Texas. It's something we're going to keep an eye on. All right, let's go and take a look at the severe weather outlook for tomorrow. The Storm Prediction Center is highlighting the potential for scattered severe storms across portions of West Texas, the Permian Basin, the Big Country, the Concho Valley, the Edwards Plateau, into central Texas, south central Texas. This is where tomorrow afternoon we could see scattered severe storms develop in parts of the Permian Basin, West Texas. Those may initially be supercells with large to very large hail, localized damaging winds. Eventually, those may organize into a cluster that then moves east-southeast towards Concho Valley, Big Country, Edwards Plateau, Hill Country tomorrow evening. If they're able to organize into a well-developed thunderstorm cluster squall line, we may see some hurricane-force wind gusts, a higher damaging wind threat. If that becomes more likely, we'll probably see parts of that area upgraded in a future severe weather outlook for a higher probability of severe storms. We may also have some storms again tomorrow morning into maybe early tomorrow afternoon along the Red River, Oklahoma, moving southeast into portions of the Arklatex, East Texas, maybe with some locally heavy rain, gusty winds. All right, let's see what the North American model shows. And again, this is just one model. We'll have to see how it plays out as we continue through today, but you can see it's got storms in Oklahoma Tuesday afternoon, moving south kind of into Texoma, Northeast Texas. We'll see, but the main show would be cluster storms developing in West Texas, moving southeast Tuesday evening into Wednesday morning with the potential for locally heavy rainfall, damaging winds, hail, and a very low threat of a tornado. And again, this would be a pretty nasty cluster of storms with, widespread strong wind gusts if this solution were to verify. We'll see. We'll get through today, keep an eye on model trends, etc. But we are getting into what we call the MCS season, the mesoscale convective system season, kind of where these daily, dryline storms fire up in far west Texas, New Mexico, and then end up pushing east-southeast overnight into the following morning hours. The northwest flow aloft, the storm train. One way to think about it. So again, that's something we're going to have to watch for. In terms of fire weather conditions over the next few days, western quarter of Texas today, kind of the western 20% tomorrow, and then far west Texas on Wednesday as the dry line begins to shift further and further west. That will bring higher moisture values farther west into Texas, but the next 3 days, still very high to extreme wildfire danger across portions of the borderland, the Guadalupe Mountains, the Trans-Pecos, down to the Big Bend, and even parts of the Permian Basin and Edwards Plateau. Forecast rain totals. This will be today through 7 a.m. Saturday, the 1st of June. This is not all going to fall in one day. So again, maybe some storms today, higher storm chances tomorrow. Wednesday and Thursday, we could see isolated scattered storms, and then Friday may be a pretty wet day. All that is to say, yeah, it's looking like we're going to have a couple rounds of rain that could bring some healthy rainfall totals to places like the Arklatex, North Texas, Texoma, Northwest Texas, even the Panhandle, Big Country, Concho Valley, Hill Country, Central Texas. Right now, it's looking like 2 to 5 inches of rain today through 7 a.m. Saturday, with some folks maybe getting closer to 7 inches, which, yeah, I mean, once you're above 3 to 4 inches of rain, we're going to start talking about flash flooding issues. And of course, if we get that kind of rain in a urban populated center, yeah, we'll be dealing with flooding. But this could also result in rises on rivers, lakes, etc. Now, some folks, like down near San Antonio, the lakes need filling. Concho Valley, Big Country, the lakes need filling. North Texas, Texoma, yeah, we don't need that right now, but we're going to get it, it looks like. And then, of course, we really need rain out across the western third to the western half of Texas. So if we can get that, that would be A-OK. But again, it's looking like a pretty wet week. Now, one benefit of that is, well, we'll start cooling things off with increased cloud cover and precipitation chances. Today, though, don't bet on it. Highs today, it's going to be in the 90s or the triple digits across Texas. The high humidity, especially across the eastern two-thirds of the state, is going to result in heat index values about 10 to 15 degrees above the actual air temperature, meaning 95 in DFW this afternoon. We may have heat index values near 105. Houston, 98 this afternoon. Heat index values near 112. Looking like temperatures in the upper hundreds, 100 is not like 190 degrees Fahrenheit, but looking like about 105 to 110. Places like Sanderson, Del Rio, Eagle Pass, Laredo, all the way down to McAllen. And some heat index values will be approaching 120 in the Rio Grande Valley this afternoon. Hot up into the coastal bend, triple digits up into the Concho Valley, the Permian Basin, the Big Bend. Even parts of far west Texas. So it's going to be hot today, but this should be the hottest day we deal with. And then we're going to start, at least moderating things as we get towards Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, tomorrow. High temperature forecast, with some increased cloud cover, maybe a bit of a boundary moving in. Highs in the 80s tomorrow afternoon, northern half of the states, 90s to low triple digits, southern half. So we get into Wednesday, you can really see about that boundary moving in. Highs only in the 70s and 80s across the northern half of Texas, up into Oklahoma. Still 80s and 90s, low triple digits, south half of Texas. A little warmer on Thursday. And then on Friday at this point, highs ranging from the 80s to 90s to low triple digits across Texas. So again, yeah, we had a really bad Saturday night. It's just been... It's been a crazy 5 weeks, not only in Texas, but across, several states. Goodness gracious. But, yeah, let's hope we don't do anything like that again this week. But we'll be here. We'll be keeping an eye on things. If we have one storm producing a weak tornado or, 5 storms, whatever, we'll be here. But hopefully we're on the downhill at this point, so we can, just coast on through the rest of this and not have any more destructive killer tornadoes. But again, we'll have to keep an eye on things as we continue through the week. We'll keep an eye on this afternoon and tonight. Same thing goes for tomorrow, and then as we get into later this week, we'll have to do the same. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy and Chief David Rammer. Thank you for joining us this morning. Again, we'll have updates as needed on the social media platforms, the Texas Weather Blog, and the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Y'all have a good Monday. Thank you for tuning in. God bless.